Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Coffee and Cannoli podcast. Back again with the Putty Man over on the side over here and Campo Reviews right below me. Gentlemen, welcome back to the show.
Hey, how's it going? I got this new hat here. Did you see it?
Yeah.
It's hat-like.
It's hat.
Yeah.
It's hat. It looks like it's a little small.
Well, unless, of course, you didn't see the other one, then yes, this is new to you.
Well, we know you like the Chicago Bulls, so I'm going to move on from that and say, let's do some Gamecube.
Not like we're recording bulk or anything.
What are you talking bulk? We don't even know which one's going to go first. So for all we know, this could be what are you talking about? The only video record? What? I'm confused.
This game, as Campo just met, or this video is all about the GameCube. That little purple box.
It looked like a lunchbox you take to school with your food. And
it looked like something Thanos would take his lunch in.
Yeah, exactly. It was a Thanos. No, but see, I think he would have a bigger lunchbox. That was like a Thanos.
It's like something Barney would take his lunch in.
Barney's lunch. There we go.
I love you, GameCube. Yay!
Well, okay, let's go.
I love lunch. And we are going to start her off. Campo, let's get your number 5.
I'm always first.
I don't know. I feel like throwing you out first.
Oh my gosh! All right, this is like sort of like a begrudging pick for me because I did like it. It's a good game, but it's not like I'm not like a fan of this game really. But I mean, I kind of have to put it. It's Legend of Zelda: Wind Waker.
Well, unfortunately, I never got to play any Zeldas after Majora's Mask, so we won't get into that. Anyway.
Then you're missing out on a lot of good Zelda games.
I know. It's just Majora's Mask was so different. And then, yeah, anyway. Okay. Yeah. So my number 5 is capped. It's Super Mario Sunshine and Mario Kart Double Dash.
Mario Kart Double Dash. Interesting.
Yeah, interesting. We're going to get back to that.
Because my number 5 is Metroid Prime.
My number 4 is Luigi's Mansion.
Luigi's.
I love Luigi's Mansion. Sorry.
Good game. The
Number
third
4
one on this Switch is phenomenal. It's great.
Number 4 is another cap. It is Beautiful Joe and Animal Crossing.
I forgot about Beautiful Joe. That was a good game. Good game. My number 4 is Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2 Rogue Leader.
I'm on 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
My number 3 is a Paper Mario 1000 Year Door.
My number 3 is I'm not good at pronouncing it, but John, since you told me how to pronounce it correctly, it's a Luigi's Mansion.
Luigi's.
Sorry, Luigi's Mansion. Sorry, I'm not good at Italian.
Funny enough, because my number 3 is Luigi's Mansion as well.
Yeah, it's catching on. All right, my number 2 is Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 4.
That was actually on another list we'll be getting to. Anyway, my number 2 is Soul Calibur 2.
My number 2 is the same as Campo, Resident Evil 4.
Well, I know we're not going to have the same number 1, but my number 1 is Metroid Prime.
My number 1 is Super Smash Brothers Melee.
And my number 1 is Legend of Zelda Wind Waker.
All right, so we got a couple of things on the list that are close. I mean, my Wind Waker takeaway before we do this is that like it's a really good game, but at the end of the day, when I went back to it, I don't know how big of a fan I actually was of the game. But like I felt like if I don't have it on the list, it's kind of like wrong. So that's like, I don't think it was bad or anything.
Wind Waker, in all fairness, Wind Waker did catch people off guard because they were so used to the aesthetic of Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time that when they changed the aesthetic of the game, where they made Link a little kid and it was like the cell shaded animation. But I just love the vibrant colors of the game too. Like it was.
Yeah, I think it was definitely a thing I didn't like the first time I played it, but when I went back, I liked that a lot more.
Yeah.
See, let me say this: when it comes to Zelda, if I picked one of all time in my list, like number one for me will be A Link to the Past, and number two would be Majora's Mask. That would be my like 1 and 2 when it comes to Zelda games. I haven't played the new ones. I can't say that. I do want to play Breath of the Wild, but I haven't got to play any of the other ones. Even Four Swords, I want to play that.
Missing like 4 or 5 good ones.
I know,
Yeah.
but it also what ended up happening was there was something that happened in my life where I was still doing RPGs, but I was going more to the Sony RPGs at that point. You know what I mean? The Final Fantasy series was much better in that eyes in that end. And then what ended up happening was when I played any Nintendo, I was only going for either the fighting games, or Mario games. And the thing is, even after that, like with the Wii, we kind of, I guess because I had to move around, I'm a lazy person, it pretty much lost me after that. You know what I mean? But when I came back to Wii U, it was kind of like, oh, we're stopping the motion control. So of course, Putty's like, oh, well, then I'll come back. So,
they didn't really stop it. It was more toned down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because even the Switch still uses motion, but it's not as prevalent as it was before.
Exactly. And that was the thing. I think that because the thing is, I GameCube was the really one I really solidly played. But even at that point, when I went from N64, that was when the PlayStation and Xbox were coming out. You know what I mean? And so when they started coming out, it started giving that adult feel to where I loved my Nintendo games, but it was like I was focusing more on those consoles way more. So unfortunately, GameCube kind of got the hit on that, where I loved my GameCube, but then at the same time, once Wii came out, I was like, and I, and we'll get to that later. So
as great as Nintendo is as a first party developer, as a console maker, I find after the Nintendo 64, I felt the Nintendo was a step behind on the generations.
100% they were.
Like GameCube came out on the same era as the Xbox and the PS2, and they were leaps and bounds ahead of the GameCube.
100%.
And after that, like it felt like for example, then you have the 360 come out and the PS3 come out, where now you're playing in HD, and the Wii can only support 480p.
Well, you have to remember, I grew up with this mentality.
480p.
I grew up with this mentality of bits. You know what I mean? I'm sure you all know the same thing where they were pushing 16-bit, 64-bit. And so once we got later where it's like, oh, we realized, oh, wait, that stuff doesn't matter. That like the term bit doesn't have anything to do with it. So then what ended up happening was, because that Genesis, that's what made me love the Genesis more. It felt like it was more for like the teenagers while Nintendo was still kind of kiddie. But
well,
I was
know why? Because Genesis do what Nintendo
don't. No, yeah. But my point is
processing.
But I still stuck
Mode 7 graphics.
Yeah, but I still stuck with Nintendo and Genesis because Nintendo, the Super Nintendo and 64 were still bringing out games that the adult crowd could play. But then what ended up happening was once Sony came out, there was another player in the field that said, we're going to stick with more of adult feel. And that, like, it felt like I wasn't, because you know how when you play a Nintendo console, it's such a colorful console as well. Like the visually, always Nintendo consoles are very colorful. While you got over here, other consoles are like, we're going to go for the darker edge of Saturn, that kind of thing. You know what I mean? Things were going in a darker way. And of course, you wanted to be the cooler kid in town. So that's what started pushing me. Now, N64 had that dark look to it. And that's the reason why when I got my GameCube, I loved it, but it was just everything about it was still too colorful. The controllers, everything, you know what I mean? It was still pushing the whole, we're bright colors and, kitty.
Yeah.
And,
but in fairness, that Nintendo GameCube wireless controller, the Wavebird or whatever the hell they called it, that worked well with no lag. That thing was fantastic.
But that was the first wireless controller in my eyes in that situation. I mean, there were a bunch of other ones because even Genesis had the wireless controller, but like that actually would work. Like it was the first one.
Canada Dry.
Sponsor.
Nice. But anyway,
I should be drinking a Brio.
I do want to mention I did put Metroid Prime as my honorable mention. The problem is I guess because I was playing other shooters at the time, that Prime did not get my attention like others did. Kind of like even with Killer 7 and all that stuff that's on my honorable mention as well. So I wanted to put it out there. I was aware of it and I played them and I know they're good games. It's just, it was, they were like basically figuratives of war. You know what I mean? I hate putting it that way. If that makes sense.
No, Prime is definitely the top 5, like even mine is like interchangeable. For the most part, we had a lot of similar games on our top 5.
We did.
Yeah. Because we were right.
We just all had Luigi's Mansion.
Yes, we did Luigi's Mansion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, okay.
I
Well,
just want
think you guys
the
are
1,000 Year Door.
You guys are
no,
not
that was
Spider-Man.
1,000 Year Door came so close. Like, you want to talk about, like we had in the other videos, the true honorable mention for me is a tie between the 1,000 Year Door and Super Mario Sunshine.
Well, mine is a tie between Twilight Princess and Super Mario Sunshine.
Twilight Princess may or may not show up on another list.
Well, that's fair.
Okay.
But I would also like to say, in fairness, it's not because I don't like fighters, Putty. It's because Smash Brothers is a terrible game, and I never understood the
GameCube version is. I never
I loved it.
I think the GameCube one is better than the N64 one, but I
agree.
Those games are the definition of a children's game where people just mash buttons and don't know what the hell they're doing. There's no such thing as combos. It's literally just hit the button as fast as somebody else.
I get the whole non-combo thing, but I still feel there's strategy to it. I don't want to. It's just a different type. It doesn't play like regular fighter games. And yes, if you
literally hit one button for the entire game.
But the thing is you can counter people that are like button smashers. If you know how to play it properly, you know how to defend against people like that. Yeah, people smash on it, but they do the same thing with freaking.
It's literally called Smash Brothers. Smash.
Yeah.
It's a terribly made game.
I can't agree on that, but again, I'm not saying
even the Switch version now. They're selling the fact of this character is here and this character is here. Now you can have Solid Snake fight Kratos or something.
You tried to blame us not putting in the list for not liking fighter games. It's just I don't like that bad.
I had Soul Calibur 2 on there as well. Like a lot of
you had Soul Calibur 2 on your GameCube list.
Yeah, that was my number 2.
To be fair, that wasn't a bad game.
No, it's a wrong system though.
No, I had. That
was the only system where you can play as Link.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. And we still haven't got to another list that has another.
That's how we're gonna do it. Just what character can you be in the games? We're just gonna add it.
No.
By the way, on the 360 list, we missed a point, a talking point, which was the Deadpool game. But I'll let it go.
Because that may or may not show up on another list.
Was it on another console?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was only on Xbox.
No, I played it on another console.
But I will say this though, it didn't actually make the list. It made something else. But anyway,
it's still a good game.
It was
pretty good. Yeah. Anyways,
I'm surprised everybody else forgot about the Godfather game.
I meant
to put it on one list and then I confused the list, so it's going to
because
be
the Godfather game. Yeah, but other than that, any other honorable mentions on you guys?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Time Splitters 2.
Yes. We need time split. We need a new Time Splitters.
Okay.
What were you going to say?
Pikmin. Pikmin and Pikmin 2.
I didn't really care for Pikmin.
Okay.
Okay, because there's a glaring omission, which I'll mention on my honorable mentions right now. X-Men Legends 1 and 2.
That's on another.
It was a GameCube exclusive, so it can't be on another list, can it?
No, the X-Men Legends came on Sony. I'm pretty sure. It's Sony or Xbox. I'm pretty sure. I never played it on GameCube.
Yeah, we could have bought Children of the Atom that day, and we chose not to. But so it was only $129 sealed.
Yeah, we could have. It was
sealed.
Yeah, PlayStation 2, GameCube, Xbox.
I'm glad that we just ruined the other list already.
Which one? No, what was that other one we saw that was like super expensive as well that day? There's another game that we saw sealed that was like $200 or something.
Oh shit, I don't remember. I know that guy was
that guy was
selling the Ninja Turtle figures, and he had a little thing on it, and I was like, oh, this is $89. That's not that bad for these vintage things. And then we asked them how much they were like $890.
$890 for the vintage Turtles figures.
He's like, I got this really cool thing if you guys are interested in looking at it. We're like, how much is it? He's like $3,000. I'm like, why would I be interested in looking at it?
Then he's like, as we're walking away, the guy's like, price is negotiable.
I'm not even going to come back to you. Like, what made you think anyone who comes to a con is going to pay $3,000 for something?
Yeah, we discussed it there. These are guys that buy crap on eBay thinking they're going to turn a profit at a con, and you
can tell because they're all. It never used to be like that. They're all mostly young guys that you could tell just bought all this stuff recently on eBay and are trying to flip it for double.
Oh, because they think just because it's something old and something popular that it's going to make a lot of money or something like that.
Like those old Turtles figures are valuable, but not $890 valuable.
No. Even the box, if you go look it up, I think someone actually found original Ninja Turtle figures. It's Retro Rick, a guy watching YouTube. He found original Ninja Turtle figures in the box without the pinhole or the thing broken. You know what I mean? So
the seal broken, yeah.
Not on the top where you actually put in the peg, the hole, yeah. And like when I saw that, I was like, you got a gold mine right there. But those even aren't even worth like $3,000. You know what I mean?
No, so like you can probably get maybe $200-$300 for it, but not almost $900.
And see,
each one he wanted $800.
Were they even in the package?
They were still graded. They were graded 8.5 out of 10.
8. Okay, well. Either way, my point to the thing is, I would love to have those. Don't get me wrong, but paying that much,
I'm not gonna pay that. I'll go to an old lady's flea market and get them for $1
in Florida.
Yeah. Anyways, back to my list. So I was expecting no one to have this on their list, so I put it on my list specifically to be like, can we get some love for this game? But then Putty puts it on his list like a jerk. Beautiful Joe.
Yes,
I love Beautiful Joe.
Like what a good game. Well, you're a jerk.
My
you
God.
could have just not put it on your list for me.
No, Beautiful. Well, I completely forgot about it. I thought I think we mentioned it on the PS2 list, didn't we?
Probably.
But I put on my honorable mentions because I even said because if we ever make another list, it would go on there because it came on GameCube first. I'm pretty sure because I remember distinctly when Capcom, because it was a big Capcom time.
It was a Capcom thing.
Yeah. And I remember when I first saw like the footage of it, like the old footage. If you look at my old channels I made, it actually has it on there. I was like, what am I watching? Right, the cell shade, the rewinding, everything about it made me so amazed. And honestly, I'll be honest with you, it's another reason why I was so happy to have a GameCube. You know what I mean? And so it had to get on my list, even though I played more Soul Calibur 2 because the Beautiful Joe is easy to beat. It's just my God, it was visually stunning, and so
it was a really good looking. Like it was something different, and a lot of games.
Books, that comic book game on Super Nintendo.
Oh yeah,
no, on Genesis, Comic Zone.
Comic Zone. Yep.
Yeah,
and that was on my list. If you remember, that was on my.
That was on your list.
Try to come around here.
Yeah, but what else do we got?
I only have one more.
I never had a GameCube, so my list is small. With this generation of list was very hard for me because I basically had an Xbox 360 and nothing else.
Well, see, John, I had a GameCube, but it's the next console I did not own. So, but only other amount.
But I had this for me. This is the era of my life between PlayStation 2 and PS5 where I didn't really game at all. I went maybe almost 15 years without playing video games at all.
Yeah.
So what you're getting on these lists is me knowing that I was buying the best games and playing them, basically, right? Like, there's not too many bad games that I played on any of these because now you could find things online and be like, this game's bad, don't buy it. Okay, I'm not buying it.
Yeah.
Or Sega, you buy every single game. You're like, yeah, I'll take all those games for Genesis.
Yeah, let me buy X Mutants.
Yeah, exactly.
But let me say this right now. The last honorable mention I have was one that the reason I put on the list, not because it was a good game, even though most of these games are good. It was a great game that we all plugged in all 4 of our controllers, smoke a little bit of something, drink a little bit of something, and just have a fun party. And the name in itself is Mario Party 4. It was one of those things where it was not that fun at all, but then you get your buddies around and like be on something you're not supposed to be on. And Mario Party 4 was the best game ever.
See, whereas for me, because I don't partake in any of that stuff, for me, it was Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles.
Yeah.
Well, because with the Crystal Chronicles, there was a cable that you would attach your Game Boy Advance to. Mm-hmm. So one person actually had the map on their Game Boy and they'd be controlling the party in the map. Like, okay, the dungeon is over here. Let's go over this way. The treasure chest is. So it's like you actually literally had to work as a team. And you can't be it'd be amiss if you didn't mention Crystal Chronicles on that.
I got you. Yeah, that makes sense.
That was for me, at least.
Everyone knows that Super Mario died after Super Mario 3. I mean, Mario Party.
Mario Party.
Well, like I said, I never said it was a good game. But
because that's the GameCube was this console where it started. No, it was more this Nintendo 60.
All the party games for Mario Golf, everything just all went to die.
Yeah, because I wasn't a fan of Double Dash either.
No, we forgot to talk about that. Double Dash is one of the worst Mario Karts.
See, here's the thing. That was again probably the same situation as Mario Party 4. We were playing together as friends. The reason I like Double Dash though so much, and more than maybe there's better Mario Karts later, but I love Double Dash because of having your friends on the back to work together. And there were so many just funny times where we're like, dude, throw the fucking turtle shell on her. And he's like, we passed the blah blah blah. No, you fucking like we would argue all the time over stupid things like that. That it made it enjoyable. So yeah, it's not a good game.
Well, that's why these lists are subjective and everybody.
Yeah, we still have to make fun of you. That's just
no. I'm fine. I'm fine with you guys making fun. But I'm just basically trying to explain to the world why they might say that's a horrible game. Why would you enjoy it? But it's like it's an atmosphere. Keep in mind, at this point now, when it comes from me, Nintendo, it's sometimes atmosphere because again, I was going to the other consoles and these were just basically party times with me and my friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it definitely makes my list way more different because I was playing them in a different way where other things were involved too, if that makes sense. So.
See, whereas my GameCube, I also had the add-on that you put on the bottom for the Game Boy Advance. So I was playing all my Game Boy Advance games on there too. And it worked much better than the Super Game Boy.
Oh, yeah. So I bet it did.
Yeah.
If you have them with that extension on it now that works, it's worth a lot of money.
Is it? I have it in my laundry room.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it's actually behind that flag in that cabinet over there. Anybody who wants to rob me, you're sitting on a gold mine here.
Yeah, believe me, JD, don't give me that thing. I'm gonna be visiting one day, and he's gonna be like, I'm like, hey, JD, what? I think someone called you on the living room. You're gonna come in there and be like, where did Putty go? Wait, where?
Just see Putty running down the street at 1
kilometer
an hour holding a GameCube.
I live at 123 Fake Street.
I'd be taking no. He knows what I'm taking. I'm taking his Dreamcast. He knows 100%. I'm taking the Dreamcast. We've already talked about that. I'm taking the Dreamcast.
You're taking my working Saturn.
Yes, the working. He knows I'm taking all the Sega consoles. 100%. The Saturn and the Dreamcast. He knows they're gone. He's like, if Putty comes over here, I gotta lock those up because he's.
I shouldn't tell you about my working Genesis.
Oh no. This the door to the recording room here. There's a lock on it. You will not be able to get in unless you break the door down.
Well, and you'll hear that. It has an alarm on it that goes, "Putty is here. Putty is here."
And actually, no. It's a little triple alarm that when you open the door, it goes beep.
Putty is here.
But no, I wouldn't actually take it. But I would probably cry a little.
No, because I'd probably shoot you before.
What is this, Texas?
All I know is JD. If something happens,
Arn Anderson,
and I decide to actually take care of myself, and you're like you make a will, I just say leave me those two consoles in it, please.
All right, I'll probably die before you, but
honestly, if that happens, like no,
I will leave you my Dreamcast and my. It's like as Bill said to Ted.
Hold on. You're gonna leave it to him?
I'm saying that.
I'm probably gonna die first. But...
Wow. Like, come on now. Who would?
Is this legally binding because we have it recorded and it's the testimonial?
Yeah. like I mean, come on. Who would love your Saturn and your Dreamcast?
I will give you first. This is my legal will. If I die, it was Putty.
It was Putty.
Oh my god.
I know I'm old, but like, you know, give me a few more years, guys.
Well, no, that's the reason why
I'll give you 6.
I had to like
right at 50. I'm gone then.
Yeah, that's it. You already like figuratively died.
Well, I mean the day we went to the con, remember my leg?
Yeah, he almost died going up an escalator. He friggin' like one hopped and he jumped in front. I'm like, no, don't. He went instead of going the way that there's nobody, he jumped in front of the other 2 escalators where people are coming up the escalator.
I'm glad I said it. I'm glad I said this on our podcast now. So if you guys ever go to a con again, they'll be like, "Oh, Putty said it. He said he would."
No, my the muscle in my calf seized, and I couldn't move my legs.
Like for a long time. It was like for a good 20 minutes. He was like dragging his leg around. I thought I was gonna have to leave him there.
Oh wow!
I was totally prepared.
He's like, okay, I'm taking your Funkos and I'm taking your comics. I'm just gonna leave you.
I definitely would have took the comics. I don't know if I needed the Funkos. I have too many.
Oh man!
I know. I saw the list.
and that's the GameCube list, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, that's all we have.
That's all we have. Yeah, this one's gonna be. I don't know if it's shorter, but that's all we have. So on that note, it was still a fun episode.
Terrible controller.
Yes.
Oh, I agree. Oh my
Better
god.
Than the 64, but still not good.
64 had that phallus in the middle.
All I know is, let's put it this way. Even though a lot of people don't like the Wii U, even at least the controller, the Pro controller was way better now since any other console they did. But anyway,
like I said, that wireless GameCube controller was good. That one was good. I like that controller.
It still felt uncomfortable in my eyes. It still felt like a regular GameCube controller, though.
A little smaller, but
yeah.
Whatever. On that note, guys, thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you all next time.